the longest time, I thought freezer was a place where I can preserve the waste, where I can just put leftovers, a little bit of mashed potatoes, a little bit of meat, and yeah, call it saved. And then I realized that my freezer is full of those little containers that never gonna be used, that don't look appetizing. They have freezer burn, and I want to show you something that my husband is saving. So there is a little bit of sauce. I asked my husband why did he freeze it. He said he's gonna use it with eggs, but I highly doubt it. There's a little bit of chicken that technically can be used and reheated, but it's just not appetizing at all. He also froze a little bit of rice. Like, how can you look at it and think, oh, yummy dinner? Like, no way. Technically, everything, all of those things can be frozen. But, you know, the question isn't really, can this be frozen? The question should be, will future me be happy I froze this? And that one question completely changed the way I use the freezer. So today I want to show you 3 categories of food that deserve place in my freezer. Not because they freeze well, but because they solve the problem. They help future me. So the first category is complete meals. And it's all about my future self to have a complete dinner. I only need to add a side of vegetables and salad or some raita, and dinner is done. So these are the things that save me the most time, because the work is already done. For me, that's things like lasagna, frozen lasagna, they freeze beautifully, or just frozen pasta. Casserole is also a great option. Frozen biryani, I can tell you that if you undercook the rice and freeze it, it's just amazing dinner. It freezes amazingly. I have a frozen, this is turkey in a tomato sauce with peas and potatoes. I serve it over rice with some salad or vegetables. Chicken noodle soup is another thing that saves amazing. And this is a breakfast casserole. It's kind of little copycat as a Starbucks broccoli casserole, but it's frozen. I'm gonna pop it in the fridge, and it reheats beautifully. And so when I find one of this in my freezer, dinner isn't a project anymore. Dinner is already finished. All I have to do is to reheat and maybe make a simple side dish. This is where I get the biggest return of my effort. I'm not freezing food, I'm freezing entire cooking session.
This is the best day of my life. I still look kitten nose.
The second category is meal starters. I want my future self to have a head start. These aren't complete meals, but they are enough to make a dinner much easier. Things like marinated meats, bone broth, cooked chickpeas or beans or curry bases. I love marinated meats in the freezer because the dinner doesn't have to start from zero. The seasoning is done, the thinking is done, the planning is done. I just need to cook it. And the same thing with cooked beans. Popping. I can soak and cook large bath at once and freeze it in smaller containers. I really don't like the can. I think it's just a little healthier if you do it this way. I like doing it this way. And I'm gonna make sure it's organic, and it's really hard to find in a glass containers beans in my area, so I just really like having this. So I freeze them in the small containers. And when I need chickpeas for soup, curry, salad, they are already waiting for me. Again, I'm not really storing food, I'm storing work I have already done. This is chopped vegetables, onion, bell peppers, and Brussels sprouts with a frozen chicken breast. I take that chicken breast when I make a bone broth, and I freeze it in a Ziploc bag like this. And this is perfect for stir-fried rice. Like if you have leftover rice, you can put some ginger, garlic, the vegetables, chicken, fried egg, soy sauce, sesame oil, and that's it. And it's excellent. Kids love it. And my bone broth. Third category is ingredients. And this might be my favorite one. I want my future self to skip repetitive work. Another thing I love to freeze are lime and lemon cubes. I used to throw away so many lemons. I would buy them with good intentions, use one or two, and then find the rest in the back of the fridge weeks later. Now, I freeze lemon juice cubes and vacuum seal them. And honestly, they taste just as good when I use them later. I use peppers a lot in curries and stews and soups. So I planted those peppers here, and on the other side I will show you, with intention to chop them and freeze them. Obviously I wouldn't put frozen pepper on a sandwich, but a frozen pepper to cook with curry or stew are excellent. So those are green peppers and red peppers. Very excited about it. Another thing that I love to freeze is tomatoes. This is a tomato plant. I have a few of them. Now I know that people love canning tomatoes, but canned tomatoes are quite cheap where I live. And I need always fresh chopped tomatoes for curries and stews. Honey, can you point it on that, please? So when they're ready, I will just peel them, chop them, and freeze them. And they're gonna be ready when I need them for curries. So another thing I'm growing is shallots. Shallots are quite expensive and not that easily available in my area, so I decided to grow them, and I'm gonna chop them, freeze them in double Ziploc bag so that they don't stink my whole freezer. One of my favorite freezer tricks is spinach. Fresh spinach goes bad so quickly. I can't even tell you how many bags of spinach I have thrown away over the years. Now I freeze it. But here's the funny part, my favorite part. When frozen spinach comes out of the freezer, it becomes so brittle that I can crush it right in a bag. It practically chops itself. I use it in soups, curries, sauces, egg dishes all the time. I would never use frozen spinach in a salad, but for cooking, it's fantastic. And same idea applies to broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, not for fresh eating straight from the freezer, but for cooking. And that's the distinction. And I think that's where people sometimes get disappointed when freezing. They freeze something expecting it to behave like a fresh food. And some food just won't. But many foods are still excellent for the job we are actually use them for. This is chopped garlic. Freeze it, don't add any oil, salt, nothing. Freeze it and it's just perfect. The same with ginger. The freezer isn't about making food identical to fresh. It's about making life easier. So when I look at my freezer now, I don't see frozen food. I see saved decisions. I see saved effort. I see little gifts from the past to the future me. And that's really the question I ask before freezing anything. Not, can this be frozen? But, will future me be happy I froze it? Because those are usually the things worth making space for.